Moonlit alliances. In the urban center, which embraced within its ancient cobblestone streets the stifling darkness, where secrets could be heard in the silence, two gangs are faced in a very secret war. A werewolf mafia, which was the powerful one led by the alpha, Jungkook Blackwood, and was the top of the underworld with a blend of animal strength and smartly intelligence. On the other part of the city, a vampire court, which was a group of people who lived a luxurious and wealthy life. The vampire's fangs were hidden behind the silk and lace. Jungkook, the brave-hearted beast, literally moved like a ghost on the rooftops of the buildings during the time the moonlight falls, and he kept his looking and eagle-positive perception on every heartbeat circulating beneath him. His pack was obedient and resolute, and they made a decision to follow him with no second thought. They were not just a criminal element, but the bond of this gang was family. But it failed when the trip of a precious diamond was missing, and Jungkook's emotions were the guide to the vampire court. Their queen Wyan Rightwood was Her Majesty in a large, beautiful ballroom containing crystal chandeliers, taking a refulgent diffraction. Her retinues danced, as if they came out of a liquid dream drift, and their dances were moony and fascinating. However, Jungkook crept in through the people, and his good movements were not like a real wolf. All that he needed were answers, no need for blood to be shed. He saw her. Fire and ice met. Wyan's voice whispered on his lips. Jeonjungkook, my friend, is it pleasant for a werewolf to visit a vampire cult? She purred. What brings a wolf to my den? He leaned in, his breath brushing her ear. The missing diamonds, he whispered. And perhaps something more. She laughed, a sound like silver bells. You think you can seduce me, wolf? Jungkook's heart raced. He was playing a dangerous game, one that could ignite the city in flames. But he couldn't tear his gaze off from Seraphina's lips, the curve of her neck. She was his enemy, yet desire coiled within him like a serpent. As the moon reached its peak, they danced a tango of power and longing. Their bodies moved in sync like two bodies, one soul, defying centuries of hatred. Jungkook's wolf clawed his insides, torn between loyalty and love. Wyan's fangs grazed his throat, and he tasted eternity. But dawn approached, and they were creatures of the night. Jungkook pulled away, regret etching lines on his face.
We can't, he said.
Our worlds are too different. Wyan looks at him, her eyes held ancient sorrows. Perhaps, she murmured, or perhaps we can forge a new alliance, one that transcends bloodlines. And so, in the hidden chambers beneath the city, they met. Months passed like this, hiding, and their feelings are blossoming up slowly. Jungkook taught Wyan to howl at the moon, and she showed him the art of savoring stolen moments. Their love was forbidden, yet it bloomed like a rare flower in the darkness. But their rivals who were jealous of their love and their bond because they are different from each other, one is a wolf, and another one is a female vampire. They caught them and took them to the werewolf clan and vampire cult. The ancient war began. The werewolf mafia clan and the vampire mafia cult, hungry for war. Jungkook and Wyan stood at the precipice, torn between duty and love. Could they rewrite their destinies, or would their love be their downfall? As the moon goddess say, they made their choice. Jungkook and Wyan, werewolf and vampire, clasped hands, a union that defied tradition and promised both salvation and damnation. And so, in the heart of the city, where shadows whispered secrets, they ignited a revolution. Moonlit alliances forged in blood and love, a tale that would echo through eternity. Jungkook and Wyan fled the city, leaving behind their respective factions, the werewolf mafia clan and the vampire mafia cult. Their love was a fragile flame, flickering against the storm of betrayal and vengeance. They settled in a secluded cabin deep within the ancient forest, where moonlight filtered through leaves like liquid silver. The cabin became their sanctuary, a place where they could be both wolf and vampire, lovers without boundaries. Jungkook chopped wood, his muscles flexing under the weight of the axe. Wyan tended to the garden, her fingers coaxing life from the earth. They shared stolen kisses by the hearth, their hearts echoing the rhythm of the forest. But danger followed them like a shadow. The werewolf mafia sent bloodhounds, snarling beasts with eyes like fire. The vampire court dispatched assassins, swift and silent as death. Jungkook and Hwan fought side by side, their love a shield against the onslaught. One moonless night, as rain drummed on the cabin's roof, Jungkook traced the scars on Hwan's back. "We can't hide forever," he whispered. "They'll find us." She kissed his knuckles. "Then let them come. We'll face them together." Their bond deepened, their souls entwined. Jungkook learned to savor the taste of blood, and Hwan reveled in the wildness of the hunt. They danced in the rain, their laughter echoing through the forest. But every sunrise brought dread, the hunters drawing closer. In the heart of winter, when frost painted the world white, Jungkook woke to find Hwan gone. Panic clawed at his chest. He followed her scent, a trail of crushed snowflakes and moonlight. Deep within a cave, he found her, a wounded angel with torn wings. "They took me," she whispered. "The vampire court. They want our love extinguished." Jungkook cradled her, his tears mingling with hers. "We'll fight," he vowed, "for us." Together, they planned a desperate alliance. Jungkook sought out old enemies, the witch who brewed potions, the ghost who whispered secrets. Hwan wove spells of illusion, masking their scent. They became phantoms, slipping through the forest like shadows. The final battle loomed, a moonless night when both factions converged. Jungkook and Hwan stood at the edge of a cliff, the abyss yawning below. The werewolf mafia howled, their eyes aflame. The vampire court glided, their fangs bared.
Hossa and sighed.
Our love or their wrath. Jungkook kissed her, a promise etched in blood our love, he murmured. Always. And so they leaped, into the abyss, into each other's arms. The forest erupted, a tempest of fur and fangs, silk and teeth. Jungkook tore through enemies, his wolf unleashed. Hwan danced, her gown trailing stardust. At the cliff's edge, they faced their leaders, Alpha Fenrir and Queen Lilith. The air crackled with magic. Jungkook's claws met Fenrir's and Hwan's fangs clashed with Lilith's. Blood stained the snow, and the moon watched, silent witness. In the end, it was love that prevailed. Jungkook pinned Fenrir, his breath hot against the Alpha's throat. Hwan held Lilith, her eyes unyielding. "We choose each other," they declared. Fenrir's eyes softened. "Go," he rasped. "Live your forbidden love." And so they did, Jungkook and Hwan, werewolf and vampire, bound by more than blood. They vanished into the night, leaving behind a fractured world. The forest whispered their names, two halves of a whole, defying fate. As dawn painted the sky, they stood on a hill, their fingers entwined. "Forever?" Jungkook asked. Hwan smiled, a promise in her eyes. Beyond forever. And the sun rose, casting their shadows as one, a love that eclipsed all else. Jungkook and Hwan's love defied the odds, transcending their supernatural origins. They settled into their secluded cabin, where the forest whispered secrets and the moon painted silver.